Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
Got to start off with Dispose. This is a garbage company that I would love for you guys to go on the website and check it out. It's Dispose LLC. It's a small company that I like to tell you that I got big visions for. I say only small because how we start off is not how I want to finish. But it takes us giving you great service to make my dreams come true. So if you want to find out somebody that's willing to sacrifice his time and make sure things is done right, give me a call at Dispose LLC. All right, so now I got to get back to the person who's been rocking with me for over 4 years, going on 5.
Yes, sir.
This man comes in the studio all the time with a smile. That's not always normal to most people, but for him, Craftmatic, how you doing tonight, big baby?
Man, I'm doing good, man.
Still got that smile?
Excited, bro.
That's that high club love.
Super
And you
fired
can't
up,
fake
bro.
that.
Fired up, bro.
I just need somebody to help me.
Aren't you fired up about life, bro? Like, what are we here for if we're not gonna go get it, right?
I'm gonna tell
I
you
don't care
right
if you're
now.
25 or 55, it's time to go get it,
I like that, man. I'm gonna tell you.
right?
To me, God gave me a sense of humor because He has one as well. Because a lot of times He gonna throw things in your way that you gonna be like, why? You gotta learn to accept and not just question.
Yes.
So that's why sometimes I always got to smile because I'm always trying to figure out. Because I asked Him why in the past. And then I asked Him to show me the way. Now I have to ask for understanding. Because as He showed me, I got to understand before I can stay within a purpose.
Yes.
So now I can smile because it's starting to make sense.
Absolutely.
I guess He was waiting on me to mature. He
Yeah.
said, you was a knucklehead.
Yeah,
You weren't paying no attention
And
to what I was
I'm going to
saying to you.
introduce our show, but I got to attack this for just a second, Jay, because you hit on something, like the picture in my head that you were talking about is, just imagine a rocket taking off, right?
Right.
And there's a pilot in the rocket, and as the rocket takes off, the rocket starts going left to right, left to right. That means he's trying to get it straight, right? But once he finally figures it all out, he gets it straight.
Mm-hmm.
And unless something strange or deranged happen, it's going to continue to go straight because he's got it in the pathway, right?
Right.
So that's what we got to do is we got to get our mind from rocking off the left and the right and figure out that, hey, the smile is available right now.
Say it again.
The smile is available right now. And that's when your life can start to be, you'll get rid of a lot of problems. You just don't know how much how spiritual a smile is. It actually sets calm waves in front of you rather than sending turbulence in front of you. Supernatural, powerful idea,
I like
right?
that, man.
Yeah. So this is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we are here simply to liberate your mind and your soul with a great dialogue. We want to have this conversation and have you to participate from your seat wherever you may be. Meaning, what would you do? How would you handle it? What decisions would you make? What is your opinion? We're certainly going to share our opinions and our experiences and our stories.
All day.
And want you to chime in from right where you are. We like to think of this show as a little bit of therapeutic. Because if you really pay attention, there'll be some growth as you go through listening to this show and participating in it. Of course, we always start the show off with a prayer. And then, I don't know, Jay, did you want to do our prayer tonight?
No, crap, I'm going to let you have it. But, I seen a very bad accident. I think it was in Texas. It was like a 100-car pileup. So I know, unfortunately, some people didn't make it. Looked like it was black ice that caused a lot of it. But it was, they slammed into each other from tractor trailers to cars. So there's a lot of people right now that's hurting because of this accident alone. And again, I don't blame no one, but anything can happen at any moment.
Yes.
So I'm always going to say stay vigilant, especially as a truck driver. Stay vigilant.
Yes, and one of the points to make in hearing that is that life is just so unpredictable sometimes, and we keep getting sideswiped. That seems to be the nature of life, is that we keep getting sideswiped by these problems and these turbulences and these occasions and these situations and circumstances. They keep pressing on us and mashing on us from all their parts of life, And so, we certainly send our prayers out to all the families that are impacted by this tragedy in Texas, right?
Yes.
So tonight I want to pray about, Barb asked me to pray about a godly world. Think about that. She wants to pray about a godly world. And so this is a big prayer. And sometimes in our little bitty lives, we don't see that. We don't see outside of our lives.
You don't see that bigger picture.
And so this is a big prayer. And I want you to just not only pay attention to my delivery, because I'm asking the Holy Spirit to speak through me, but you know, I want you to hear the message behind it, you know. So let's just give it to the Lord. Heavenly Father, we come into your presence right now, just thanking you once again for all that you are in our lives and all that you do. We give you all the praise and all the glory, for we know that we are nothing without you. We ask, Father, that you would give us a bigger vision of a godly world. That you would give us, Father, a vision of our place in this world. Give us our mission and our vision. Give us clarity and a definiteness of purpose, Heavenly Father. Allow our lives to be balanced, Heavenly Father. Enough time for God, enough time for joy, enough time for education and learning and wisdom, enough time for family. Allow us to be fruitful in all of our endeavors, Father. Guide our steps. Allow us to see you in all of our affairs, Heavenly Father. Take us down the right paths and not the wrong paths. Show us favor and blessings from our friends and our families and even from strangers, Heavenly Father. Give us signs and wonders that we are on the right path or perhaps not on the right path. Don't just show us the promised land, Heavenly Father. We ask that you would allow us to play on the playground of the promised land. Let our lives make you proud, Heavenly Father. At the end of our lives, let our decisions and our character and our lovingness make you proud. We know that you are in control and always be with us and make us feel like we are never alone. And we give all these prayers in your name, and we ask that you would stand in the gap of this show and lead us and guide us to great inspiration. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Woo, crap. All right, y'all. Bar Talk with Jay. I'm trying to remember. Where's my cash at?
That's good, man.
Because you did that one.
That felt good.
You did that.
Good. Yeah. Man, that's
That
so
was a
much
sermon.
there. Yeah. That was a sermon.
That was a sermon.
That was a sermon. I'm
Somebody got that.
Probably gonna clip that one and post that.
Definitely.
Woo! I feel it in my spirit too, boy.
We
You know
all
one
feel
thing that's been happening to me this week, Jay,
Tell
as we
it to me,
move on.
man.
Man, something in my spirit has just been super, super fired up.
Okay.
I just don't know what that is. I walked around my showroom this week.
Mm-hmm.
I work at a Chevrolet dealership, for those of you who don't know, and a lot of times it's just
Say
me.
the name, man. Let them know where you at. Steve Raymond, that's right. When y'all need a car.
Steve Raymond
One call,
Chevrolet.
that's all.
So I'm walking around the showroom, and sometimes you walk around the showroom alone, and something in my spirit is just bubbled up. It's like, man, let's go. Let's make something happen, you know? And I'm laser focused on my work, but I just see so many blessings just coming out of it, you know? Blessings are just pouring. It's like the other day there was 3 major things that happened positive in my life, and they all just kind of come together on the same day. And so I'm just, I'm so filled with gratitude, and I'm just so fired up about life, and I think that is the key to life. If you want to be a star, you got to be bright. You got to be full of energy, and you got to be full of zest, and you got to be full of go-get-em, and you got to be full of positive attitude. That's the thing that makes stars so powerful and so bright, you know? And so, you know, I'm feeling it right now, Jay. Feeling it big time, man.
You made me feel it on that one. 'Cause
Yeah.
You made me think about some of the things I was going through, and I was like, I always thought I was going with my head down. Man, I've been looking up.
Yeah.
It's been bright, but you don't always see it that way.
Right.
You know, and again, that's why I pray for understanding.
Yeah.
Because again, as I hear, I'm like, yeah. Because I don't like waking up dull. I
Yeah.
don't like waking up without that encouragement.
Yeah.
Because it starts within.
Yeah.
So as you get up and I'm getting encouraged, I always get the negative reactions on everybody else. So as I deal with that and I deal with life, sometimes you don't get recharged. Because I got to stay out of that comfort zone of being regular. Regular is not going to get me where I have to be, because that ain't what he asked of me.
Yes.
He asked me to be all you can be. You got to be the best at everything. And right now, you mediocre if you just sitting there on regular.
Listen, you cannot operate on a half-empty battery. You got to fill yourself up. You got to recharge your own battery. The world is going to be stealing energy, right?
Right.
If you look at the sun, the universe is pulling energy from the sun, taking it and receiving it. But where does the sun get its energy from? from within, right? And you got to get your energy from within. And that's a powerful talk, man. We can go down so many lanes with that. Let's go ahead and quickly cover last week's topic. It was a crazy kind of topic.
Hey, it wasn't one that we did. It was something that was already out there.
Yeah, it was something out there. And Jay likes to pay attention to what's going on in the marketplace. And we have a voice and like to speak on them sometimes.
Yes, we do.
So we talked about this thing called babies.
Yeah.
Not babies, but babies. THEYBIES. Parents no longer want babies. They want babies. Your baby will decide their gender later on in life. And I started to show off by suggesting that it is a preposterous conversation to even attempt to have. I think we got a lot of gravy out of it. But to try and challenge nature with your interest in parenting is not a smart idea. The Lord showed us that rocks are hard, and you don't want to hit them or have them hit you too hard, right?
Okay, that will come.
But when you go against the current, you have the potential to drown. And you can stay afloat if you fall with the current. That's all I'm suggesting. It's just common sense kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't know you was going to go that way, but I'll rock with it one way or the other.
I think Brother Phil will probably agree with me on this.
I don't think he would disagree at that.
Listen,
at this point.
The very last thing he said is, you cannot interfere with nature. Mm-hmm. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. And a child given an opportunity to find their own sexuality is ultimately going to base on its influence.
Correct.
Right? If it has a motherly influence, it probably is going to lean toward more feminine qualities. If it has a fatherly influence, it'll probably lean toward more masculine qualities. And so you can't play with nature. The girl is blue and the girl is pink and the boy is blue, and that's just the way it's been, and it's gonna be that way for a very long time, right? So I'm not really sure where the conversation ultimately. If I could say this real quick, Jay,
go ahead, bro.
It sounds like the community of the gay and lesbian community have some other feelings about it, and that's where this comes from. And their opinion is important too. And so we're not necessarily rejecting them. We're just rejecting those particular ideas. They don't fit who we are, where we come from. But we certainly honor their interest in speaking their mind, but this is just subject that you just can't throw away. No, you can't put it to the sidelines. Only in the middle path. There's no gray area. You're a boy or you're a girl, and you should grow up as such. And if you make a different decision later on, then that'll be fine, because that decision will be based on some education and some experience and etc. But to allow a young boy to want to wear a dress because that's all he sees his mother with, I don't think it's a fair way to raise a child.
And again, it's not us throwing a dagger towards anything that's out there as to how somebody want to raise theirs. The whole thing is they brought this, and I just feel like it's a conversational piece. One of the things I want to make sure I make a peace with is you have your thoughts on how you want to do things, and it's fine. I won't always say honor, because I can't honor what I don't believe in my tradition. My traditional ways is going to be something that I stand for. Just like if you stand for this babies, that's fine. Because that's what you choose. That's what you want to rate. That's fine. My whole thing is fine don't mean that's what I'm going to understand and I'm going to follow you. I make my own leadership. And that's not what I want to lead with. So as you come up with your movement, just understand I had a movement that made me into the person I am. How I train mine, that's my own boys. And also how I look at my girls. You're not going to change that from me because it was passed down. That's a traditional thing that was passed down from my mother and the generations of people before them. So I thought this was something that somebody threw in front of us. It could be a laughing point, but my whole thing is a movement. So let's understand what's being moved, but you can understand where you stand, because I'm not asking you to stand with me.
Yeah, we follow the word, We aren't going to play with that, I'm not going to deny the Lord in any conversation. we follow the word, and there was Mary and Sarah and Cain and Abel. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know what I'm saying? Miss Prissy and Teddy the Bear, right? That's just how it was.
Well, we know who the comedian tonight. Jay gonna take the back seat.
So enough of that. Go back. Listen, we did a great job talking about the show. We think it was some powerful ideas there. One of my friends mentioned it was humorous and it kept you interested. You know what I mean? So
thank you.
Yeah, go back, take a look at it. We're all over the internet: Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. You can find us any and everywhere. It is just about time for us to take our first break. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our subject, and then we'll go to break and come back and keep chopping it up right after this. Tonight, we are talking about, fellas, would you start a new relationship with a pregnant woman?
Cool.
Of course, the child, not yours.
She ain't even lying,
She ain't even lying. Y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. With Jay.
Oh, this is gonna be
and
interesting.
I'm with my tight boy Jay. What's up, boy?
Man, it seems like you threw out an interesting one today, baby.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You threw out an interesting one today. And somehow or another, I'm gonna tell you, Jay, this is absolutely crazy, dog.
What's that, bro?
Bringing up stuff that I just wouldn't think of, man.
I'm gonna tell you all day long. It is not to piss anybody off, but if you want to be different, let's talk about the things differently than what everybody else is talking about.
Yeah.
And then you want to act like it don't concern you. My whole thing is something to be thought about. I'm not judging. So anybody that's pregnant, please do not take any offense to anything that might go on tonight, because Bar Talk with Jay is not out to offend. It is to have a conversation, because one of the things to come out tonight is the respect for you and yours. Is not to take away from anything that's going on today.
Right.
And hey, let's make this a great conversation. And I got somebody else going to come in the building that's going to say some things tonight. Now, what he might got to say got nothing to do with Bar Talk with Jay. Buddha on his own, right?
Yeah, that's our disclosure.
All
disclaimer, right? Disclaimer, yeah.
Give it to him quick.
So, let me go ahead and give you the topic for tonight, and let's just jump right in.
Okay.
So, fellas, would you start a new relationship with a pregnant woman?
Now, only thing I can tell you at this point in my life, no.
At this point in your life, no.
Right.
Okay.
And that's again, it's my
that
decision.
Means it's relative. That means it's relative. There might have been a point where you would have.
Right. And I would tell you early on in my life, I probably wouldn't mind it at all. But now I'm to a point where I had my kids. My kids is having kids. You know, I'm 51. So I'm not looking to have no kids. And if somebody having a kid, then I want them to have that full enjoyment, because I got so much going on in my life. Right. I'm so here and there.
Right.
I don't want that to take away from that child and that development, because I really feel like both parents. It just can't be for the fact that I make money and I'm not there. I've started to see the effect of not being there. Just because you're chasing money, it still hinders the development, and it puts more pressure on one person. So seeing that I got so much going on, and that's something I love, and that's something I wanted, then I have to be cautious of the things that I'm making moves with. And I don't want that person to be in the limelight or under the limelight or feeling some kind of way because of the fact that I feel this way, but then I still pursue you, and it's like a mislead type deal. I don't want to mislead. I would rather be more honest. If that's not what I want, and that's something that I'm not seeing, then it's only fair for me to let that person know, because she has the right to be loved too.
Absolutely.
The biggest thing is to mislead and make a person hope for something, and there's no hope. Then I feel like that's a falseness, and I'm responsible for that. By giving her that whole inkling, oh yeah, that's fine, we can do this, knowing in the deep back of my mind, this is going to be a hindrance, because you think things through half the time. If you are a person of any kind of business or kind of a thinker, you got to think, because it's an impact. And you got to be a healthy impact when it comes to a child. And it is a package deal. It ain't, I just want her, but I ain't want that dang child. At that point, you don't need to be in her life.
Right.
You are a disaster.
And so, there probably comes a point where I don't know. You know, there's so many ways to attack this, Jay, because
Which way you want to go first?
let's just think about some of the scenarios here, right?
Okay.
Let's say that she's pregnant when you meet her.
Okay.
She's already pregnant, right?
I mean, a couple months, right? Where I can tell or I don't know.
I mean, you don't know. You just meet her, and
Okay.
she got pregnant maybe 2 weeks beforehand, maybe a month beforehand it happened, you know.
I got you.
And so she meets you, and next thing you know, she has to tell you that, you know, she had sex the month before y'all met.
Right. And now she's pregnant.
Now she's pregnant, right?
Now, great.
Or
Okay. What's the next one?
maybe you met her, and maybe been talking to her, but y'all ain't committed.
Right.
But y'all been seeing one another.
Doing some things.
Obviously, yeah, she been doing her thing.
Okay. That's what I'm
You might
talking
have been
about.
doing your thing.
Right.
She get pregnant.
No.
And-
she already was pregnant.
She get pregnant by, you know, this other dude.
Right. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
because y'all not committed.
Right.
You know?
So she had a right
might
to
not
do
hear from
something.
you for 2 weeks.
Right.
But 2 weeks, y'all to spend 2 or 3 days together. You know, it just be like that.
Oh, she a little freak.
And so,
Okay.
what would you do? That's another one.
Oh, I mean, you got a couple in there. Okay.
Let's just say, well, I don't know if we should go there yet. If you got a girlfriend, or she married, and she mess around and get pregnant by somebody else.
That one's easy, so we're gonna leave that for last. we'll leave that one alone for
I'm
last.
not sure that that's so easy. Jay,
Well,
to love your
let's
wife.
go back to the first one. Give me the first one again. We gotta start with that. We'll go to the other one now because you
She
do a lot
pregnant
about
when you meet her.
She pregnant when I meet her is a little bit different because I'm getting to know her anyway. So technically, if she got kids or not, at that point, I'm not trying to meet the child. I'm trying to understand her to see if we can vibe and make
But
it.
listen, you vibe quick, man.
I mean,
Ain't no play
we
with the game.
can and we can't. It just depends. But my whole thing is, I didn't know. She didn't probably know. So at that point, it's fine because I'm getting to know her, and then she let me know. Now I have to make that decision because now I might be into her. I'm feeling her, and now she let me know she's pregnant by somebody else. Now this somebody else might be in her life, might not. But I have to consider that. And now if I'm considering it, it can be a hindrance because bottom line, I have to understand that that's the biological parent. If you're looking to be in more of a role with that, it has to be something that y'all deliver and talk about because that person still have rights. And that's something that's not always talked about.
Yes.
It's easy to say he don't care for it, he ain't this, but then all of a sudden he fighting to get back because that person wasn't totally honest. That's where problems come from. It's problematic.
Right.
Because again, we're talking about a human being, and then you're talking about a person that's trying to stand in because somebody else said a person is standing out. I am not saying anything negative to any man that stands the gap and gets in there because I've done it, but I didn't do it fully. I've done it with people who was in their lives. I never tried to take the father out. I was just trying to do some things to make sure they knew I'm a tribe.
Right.
I'm a person that's going to help feed, but I am not a person that you can call your dad. Don't give me the disrespect of saying that when he has that title. I don't want to take his. Disrespect me for what I can do in my position. Now, some say, forget him, he ain't doing nothing. You like my stepfather, this and that. That's their right to take that title to give me. Mine is to show love and encouragement. All right? But if it's a point in time that I'm not wanting to do that, I have that right. Some people say, no, you're being selfish. How am I being selfish when I have so much going on and you focusing me on one thing that I already know my vision is bigger? And it wasn't mine.
And let's just, cover that just a little bit. There's so many things to cover. I lost my train of thought right there.
That's fine,
Yeah,
because I got a second one. You gave me a couple.
Go ahead.
Let's hit the second one. What was the second one?
She get pregnant after you meet her.
Now, after I meet her, that's a little almost like the first one, but with the second one, because I didn't get in the monogamous relationship, I can't hold her totally responsible. First of all, I can't just say because you went out and did this. My whole thing is I didn't commit. By me not committing, I'm limited on a whole lot of negative responses. Now, at that point, I still got to know in the relationship and the time I was with her, am I willing to take this road, this drive down this road with her?
I mean, you were, if you were asking the question, is this gonna be my lady? And then she gets pregnant, you ain't gonna be asking yourself the question the same way.
Well, you got to remember,
right?
We wasn't in a monogamous relationship because I could have just been in a point where I didn't want to be, or she said it. Now, if she said it, I have to respect that because she said it. So now that she went out and did that, it might not have been a purpose thing, but bottom line, it was done. So if it happens, at this point, you got to show enough respect that it was a conversation ahead of time. So before you start throwing your daggers, understand what y'all said y'all was willing to do because you didn't make that leap. And if this person did get a break, I have to step back and let her make that decision because he has put a seed there. And it is not right for you to contaminate it just because you feel that you got cheated when you didn't commit your damn self. I really feel like a lot of time we get to be male chauvinist and be like, well, you was with me first. Okay, these kids games. This ain't no kiddie game because we're talking about a kid. Now that she's in that position, I have to take a back seat and realize what's best for the child, what's best for her and them. Because again, if she wants it to be with them, even though I was with her first, I have to step back and say, you know something? I respect it.
Yeah.
It ain't going to be nice. I ain't going to feel all that great about it. Don't get me wrong. But I have to look at a bigger picture. It wasn't meant to be. And I have to give that something to nurture. Because he planted the seed.
That's a very interesting question. Is it just meant to be?
I ain't saying.
Are you, because what you're suggesting is that the child is going to hinder your ability to love and be in love with her.
No, I don't want to.
Is that what you're saying?
I don't want to cut it like that.
Let's just put it frankly. A child is a burden that you're not willing to participate in.
No, I had five. I can't say that.
I'm trying to find some rationality.
The rationality is if she got pregnant, she gonna go through a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
But and she going through it. I need to know where she at. Is she really with the person that she made that baby with? Or she just trying to hold on to me because I'm a better person?
Let's just say she got pregnant, man. She got pregnant, you know what I'm saying? Y'all was fighting for a couple of weeks. She wasn't talking to you. Y'all wasn't really committed, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She had sex, slipped up, whatever happened.
Right.
So the thing about it is, so she got pregnant and, you really love her. Y'all haven't expressed that to her. You like her a lot. You may want to be with her. And so now you're suggesting that because this mistake has happened with this child, that she's no longer worthy.
I'm not gonna push that.
What's the words I need?
My whole thing is
I came in on the wrong end.
Hang on, you can sit back because you gonna come in a second. Buddha gonna say some things that y'all might take any kind of way. I'm gonna give it to you in a subtlest way. Now, going back to a subtle way is if I'm talking to a person and I'm saying this is a person of importance. This is a person that I can see some things with. Might not have committed, but again, it was early on. We didn't do a monogamous relationship, but we was tight. We spent some time.
Right.
Now that she has found out that she's pregnant, it's a more difficult conversation we gotta have because now I need to know, okay, not just accidental. I didn't. Don't speak that over here.
My bad.
I'm done. I don't want that.
Oh, okay.
I want to make sure I clarify before somebody call me because what Buddha just said. Hell to the no. Now going back to this conversation, it's one of those situations where you got to have a real deep conversation because again, regardless of the fact it's a slip up, this is something that's going to affect her for a very long time. Ain't no 18 years. That is her child for a long time.
Watch this, Jay.
Go ahead.
You kind of know she like you a lot, love you. She needs you right now.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I have to turn my back, but bro, need me or not, she got to make some hang on. No, bro, just being serious.
Well, listen,
you got.
She's already made the decision. She made a mistake. She wants to be with you. She wanted to be with you before she was ever with that nigga.
Bro,
but you wasn't committing. You weren't hollering at her. She was trying.
And she can't just cut him off just because she want me
She's
now.
She's not going to be able to cut him off. He is a father.
Exactly.
But she's still going to have a man. Whether you there another man, so she going to have a man.
That's a difference. A father and a man, two totally different things.
No, the baby's going to have a father. She's going to have a man. Because she's not going to be with the father. She's going to live her own life with the child. So she going to always have a man. She just wondered if it's going to be him.
That would dictate a sperm donor if he not taking care of his responsibility.
No, you gotta get into the conversation right here, right? Fellas, would you start a new relationship with a pregnant woman? Right? So you meet her, she's pregnant, and maybe or shortly after you meet her sometime, you know her and y'all just ain't committed to each other, but she gets pregnant. And now y'all start kicking it before you know the bubble is coming and you feeling each other. It don't take but a couple of weeks before you really start to feel each other.
Is the father dead?
No, No, the father was around.
Nope.
You thought I was cold. Told you.
Okay. Okay.
For what?
You don't love her that much.
You just said we was kicking it.
I mean,
Kicking it don't mean love.
You don't love her
Kicking
like her
it-
that much,
no.
right? But listen,
Kicking it.
before that mistake happened, she was the only woman in your mind who you would say, you know what?
Yeah,
If
she's gonna be the only woman in my mind that I'm saying.
Before that, she was the only woman who you would
good.
entertain
Hey,
marriage.
Hey,
You would entertain a lifetime relationship with.
we was
Tear
right
it
there.
up.
We was right there.
Nah, see,
You pregnant? Huh? Where that come from?
Where do you think it came from?
I mean, but hold on, we was kicking it. What happened?
We know what happened.
I mean, you got mad at me for 2 weeks. You got mad at her for 2 weeks.
I got mad at her for 2 weeks.
And you dipped out. You ain't called, you ain't talked to her, whatever. So, you know what I'm
Oh, she
saying?
come back pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bye.
So she was just supposed to wait for you, right? She wasn't even supposed to have sex.
No, I'm not saying she's supposed to wait for me, but hey, at least take care of yourself.
Okay, but I mean, it happened.
Yeah,
it happened.
I
You know
mean,
what I'm
it
saying?
happens.
It could be you too.
But if he dead, yeah, we can take care of this. But if he ain't dead, no.
Bill said dead. He didn't say squirming. He didn't say dead to her.
Yeah.
He said
I don't want them
underneath the
problems.
ground.
Dead,
I don't want them
6
problems.
feet deep, huh?
That's the only way.
You wouldn't want them problems.
That's the only way.
And there are many men who raise
Or
children.
if he deported and he can't come back, well, okay, I entertain it then.
He got to be out the picture.
Completely.
That's the only way.
Totally.
Okay, that's one perspective. That's one
That's the
perspective.
only perspective.
Yeah,
To him.
you know, that's it.
I mean, that's just me.
That's one perspective, right?
That's me.
And we're going to go ahead and get ready to take a break, but, you know, we all got stories from our families where he stayed with him or she stayed with him. He stayed with her, she stayed with him. We all got those stories. We know.
Right.
You know, things happen and we end up raising somebody else's child. It's been that way from the very beginning. And, you know, we don't sometimes talk about those things, but they're very real. So
We can.
yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit. So y'all stay tuned. I got some more groove cuts for you. We'll be right back and more Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
One of the things I can tell you is things that comes out of Buddha's mouth is going to be on Buddha tonight. We're going to go a little bit deeper on this bad boy, but before we do, I got to find out how this person's day was. And if you ain't know who coming up next, you're about to.
Yes.
This person right here can change your whole life depending on what he got to say. So, Jeffrey, how you doing tonight, big baby?
Brother Jay, Brother Kraft, Brother Buddha. How's it going, fellas?
What's going on, Jeff?
Doing good, my friend. Doing good, man. How are you today?
Oh, man. You know, today was a decent day. It wasn't too cold. You know, I got a little bit of rain over here. But, you know, rain is a cleansing if you look at it the right way.
Yes.
True.
So I'm happy. I'm not complaining. You know, my granddaughter, she still loves the granddad. My daughter, my son, they love me. My mommy and all my brothers and sisters, they all love me. But in spite of all of that, you know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
It's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions. I give you some answers from a man's point of view.
Okay.
Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single. But before we get into that, here is my disclaimer. Now, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you. And if it doesn't apply to you, I want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them because you're about to learn something tonight. Ladies, you go first. All right, ladies, some of y'all are single simply because you can't see. I need you to feel what I'm saying here. See, now, metaphorically, you can't see that there are men out here that hear you saying, protect us and lead us and stand with us and take care of us, who actually show up and show out. And when we roll through like men, you say stuff like, don't don't protect me like that because I feel restricted, and don't lead me like that because I feel controlled, and don't stand that way because you're blocking my shine, and don't take care of me that way because you're smothering me. And as soon as we fall back, can you go with that bull saying he wasn't a real man? He couldn't take a strong woman. Nah. The fact of the matter is, you ain't never seen a real man. So you can't relate to what you've never seen. And you've never heard a real man. So when a real man speaks to you, you can't hear him. And you've never stood by a real man, because when a real man walks into the room transforms. See, you've never been in a real man's presence, so you can't partner with him because he ain't impressed by your representative. Now, because you don't see none of that, to him, you just blind, crippled, and crazy. And most of all, your ass is single.
Wow. Your ass will get single because you cannot see. And what is it that she doesn't see? She doesn't see a real man standing before her. You know, man, that's such a powerful idea. And that's, you know, I'm going to let Brother Jeffrey carry on, but it's not just in men and women and how they see each other. You might not know a real boss and a real leader when you see them if you have never seen one. You know, you may not know a real money maker and real mover and shaker if you've never seen one. I see some young cats and I see fire in them, and I see them doing all these projects and doing stuff. I see greatness in those young men, and they're just getting started. You know, and so we got to learn to see the potential in things, and I think that's ultimately what he's talking about. See the real man, because it might not be right in front of you, but he is there for sure. And Brother Jeffrey, we'll hand it back to you.
All right, fellas, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Fellas, you are next. All right, fellas, some of y'all are single simply because you see the black woman as the enemy. I need you to feel me on this one. See, you look at her darker skin as a curse to be avoided. You see the fullness of her lips as a caricature of disdain. You see her locks and her kinky hair as the focus of derision and scorn. You see the contours of her curves as something to be over-sexualized, just parts to be strictly used for your base desire. You see the black woman as the enemy, not recognizing that outside of whatever God you pray to, the divine vessel between the spiritual world and the physical world is the woman, and the oldest woman in existence is the black woman. So if I could name many other reasons than just that, but if you don't see the beauty in the fact that I just gave you, you will never truly see the beauty in yourself. And because you can't see the beauty in yourself, shit, that's why your ass is single.
Did he break that one down?
He broke it down, man.
He hit me a couple of times.
Yeah. We were all feeling a little convicted, Brother Jeffrey.
I feel some shoes on my feet.
Hey, yeah, you used to say Timberlands, and so I'm feeling the Timbs tonight. I'll be honest with you, Brother Jeffrey. I'm going to say something that's a little contrary, just because I'm attempting to be a little devil's advocate. I got to be a host here, right?
He got to be
But there's a notion in the world nowadays that says one of the reasons that black men are pushing away black women is because black women are like black men. And they sometimes got a strength that even a black man just can't handle. And we try to see the beauty, but it sure is loud sometimes. He can be quite aggressive, man. That's all I'm saying.
Phil said, I still see the booty.
You got to know so else. I can't get with you on that one.
All right, Brother Jeff, it's all good.
Oh man, I had a different rebuttal, a different bringing it together, but I'm gonna go in a different direction. Something just sat on me. I'm gonna say this to you fellas and men and women. I want y'all to hear me closely now. I was watching a TV show today and a man stood up. This show was based in the 50s, and the man stood up and he said some of the same things that some of the same people are saying now. He said, men, our women have been out there leading the charge while we've been sitting back strategizing. Our women have been on the forefront, begging us to come up there with them, while we've been arguing over process and parliamentary procedures. And I find that there is a shred of truth to that. So if our women have traditionally been, the biggest advocates for us moving forward, well, there's a point where there is smoke and fire in the claim that we are not doing enough. Now, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted at all. Men, we certainly show up and we certainly show out. Women show up and they show out too. We all show up and we all show out. And when we stop taking count of who did what and just focus on what gets done, then the neighborhood gets rebuilt. The hood wasn't always a bad place. People took pride in where they lived.
Yeah.
The neighborhood used to be the spot. Mm-hmm. Now you go back to them, they dilapidated. It's not just because of us. There's a lack of investment from government, and the banks that were there once, they stopped lending in those places. Don't get me to talking about the macroeconomic impact on our communities. Mm-hmm. The bottom line of it is we still have work to do. Mm-hmm. And if I do it, great. If she does it, wonderful. As long as it gets done and we stop taking count of who's doing it, we'll be all right. And then our kids will see that level of cooperation. Our young girls will know how to cooperate with young men, and our young men will know how to cooperate with young women, and they can have a cooperative family in a very nice neighborhood, making a living, building another base for their children to keep the progress and the growth going. That's all I've got to say about that.
And that is a lot, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Always, man. Every week you come with it, for real. So much to be said about that. I want to hear your, your 2 cents, 10 cents on the topic, Brother Jeffrey, and it goes like this.
Yeah.
Fellas, would you start a new relationship with a pregnant woman?
I like that, Jeffrey. I like it.
Okay. Now I'm gonna give it to you like this. If he is like pregnant, I don't mean, she don't know and I don't know, but I mean she knows that she's with child and the child is fully formed. I don't want to be responsible for putting a dent in that baby's head, first of all. Second of all, I have to tell you this.
I got him.
There should be some type of connection with that child's father.
Right.
I just can't, unless she was artificially inseminated. Nope. I cannot see some type of relationship with that father taking precedent over dating. Second of all, first of all, I can see dating being a priority while you are with child. You should be focused on making sure your baby has all the healthiness that it needs, because I'm going to lead you down a road of debauchery. And I don't need to be responsible for taking, let me stop. I'm just saying, ladies, if you are with child like that, dating is the last thing on your list. Having a healthy baby is paramount. And that's I can't get around it. Having a healthy baby is paramount. That's all I got on that, brother.
Jeff said, "This ain't what you want."
Yeah, he said, "You got to sign an agreement."
I'm the wrong one. I'm the wrong one.
I'm gonna lead you down the path of debauchery.
I'm the wrong one. We're not even gonna play with it. We're not even gonna play. We're not even gonna do it.
I don't want to be the one responsible for putting the dent in that baby's head.
That baby got a big old dent in soft spot. Say, but you responsible for this?
This is real. Yeah, I was responsible for that, but I bought your diapers all.
Yeah. Hey, I gave your mama a little bit of a warning beforehand.
So we appreciate you, Brother Jeffrey. Man. Yeah. Any parting words for us, man?
Debauchery.
Oh, no, man. Just take it easy. It's Valentine's Day weekend, so The best time, fellas, the best time to get a quick connection. Best time. You never know.
I mean,
when you get awfully lonely.
Now, Jeffrey, you know how we get into this. You know, now Valentine's Day was Saint Valentine's. You know how we get down. You know, they done turned that thing all the way around. You know that man was beheaded. And now all of a sudden I'm giving gifts to somebody else. Now I'm just saying.
But the Lord turned all that around. You know what I'm saying? All our giving is gonna overcome all of that.
Yeah, that man got beheaded. You gonna give a ring to somebody else?
You're gonna turn around history.
Oh, hang on.
God does that all the time.
Hold on. Christopher Columbus.
God does that all the time.
We know that was a lie anyway.
Half the stuff you know is a lie. Anyway, Jeff, we're gonna let you go. We're gonna argue some more.
Appreciate you, Brother Jeffrey.
All right, take it easy, fellas.
All right.
Oh, bro.
Hey, listen, the Lord does that all the time, man. He, you know what I'm saying, he changes definitions of things all the time. And that's one of the things he changed the definition on. We're going to treat it with love and respect. We're not going to treat it out of, beheadment. Back in the day, we changed the meaning of it. And we brought something glorious out of it. And that's what that's what I'm here to do. Right? That's what we are here to do. Why you laughing at him, man?
He's a poetry. He used Jeffrey stuff. I had to. It was funny.
Yo, wow, man.
You know, how it goes. How did you change it? I always got to say this, remember what it really was, because the bottom line to me, no matter how much you want to change it, my whole thing, it ain't going to be about a day. Don't ever come to me about a day when they need to be appreciated all the time.
Yeah.
If all you want to do is flowers on a day, then you bought into that whole concept. And that's bull. You are to appreciate them all the time.
And hey, listen, and we talked about this. We had a show about it. That men don't get as much love on Valentine's Day.
We don't get nothing on Father's Day.
Yeah, so, if this is anybody paying attention, send a message out. Men gonna take care of their women because that's how they do. But women, you need to take care of your man.
Yeah.
And don't show up without a gift for him.
And don't come with that same old coochie. Talking about rewrap.
The coochie won't be the same.
But you talking about that's the Valentine.
Hey, rewrap mine. I don't give a damn.
You ain't got to wrap it, period. You come negative, it ain't the gift.
I'm like Bernie Mac. Do something special.
What you looking at me for? I don't know what to say to you.
You know it wrong now. I don't know what to say to you.
Well, good job. What we say, good job?
I mean, look when you say, Dutty.
Bernie Mac. That's a memory of Bernie Mac.
Tonight is all crap.
It's time for us to take another break. I want y'all folks to stay tuned. And welcome back to more of our Talk with Jay. Brother Jeffrey really tore it up right there, man. He always tears it up, And we're grateful for him. Every week he comes through and just liberates us. That's what this show is about. It's getting our minds and souls liberated. And, he most certainly did that. And always does. He talks about family and community. Tries to put a little straightening on us men and us women, and he came with it as usual. So tonight we're talking about, fellas, would you start a new relationship with a pregnant woman? And the consensus is here thus far is that we would not start a relationship, and that doesn't mean that we probably wouldn't play around with it for a while, for a few months until it got out of hand.
I mean,
would you go with her? You would just have a sexual relationship. We wouldn't go with her.
In all honesty, I could.
You could go with her.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about that, Phil. That's what we wanted to hear.
3 criteria won't be a deal breaker.
Okay.
He deported.
Okay, he gone.
He dead.
Okay, he gone.
Or he got 3 consecutive life sentences where he ain't getting out.
He gone.
He totally out the picture. That's the only way.
Well, what if he's out the picture and she just got pregnant? You know what I'm saying? It just happened. You know, she went to travel on a business trip, made a mistake, she got pregnant, man. What, you know, and she want to be with you.
Did you not hear my 3 criteria?
He got
that wasn't part of it.
He was gone.
That wasn't part of it.
So you wouldn't want the biological father to be able to buy diapers and.
If we can meet those 3 criteria, I can do it. Other than that, you know, your baby gonna have a nice soft spot.
He said
I'm just saying.
That's it, huh?
Debauchery.
He just gonna be digging all up.
Honestly, for me, that's the only way I can see me saying, okay, yes, I'll do it.
The only way.
That's the only way.
Okay.
Other than that, I can't see
it. There's nothing about her that would allow you to say she's worth it.
No.
No. Nothing about her.
No.
She has the potential to really make you a good wife.
If the father does not meet those 3 criteria right there, 1, a 2, a 3, no, it's not happening.
Is there a chance that maybe you could love her so much you would help her get rid of him?
Get rid of him? No. But hold on.
Right?
But look, I'm gonna throw.
Just do it out there.
Let me
getting rid. That's planning and strategy and
you might
lime and shovels.
Let me go back. Whip to that degree.
Let me go back to
and acid.
Let me go back a couple years ago. A couple years ago,
you said get rid of.
5-gallon drums.
Listen, we are not trying to add.
You know, huh?
First of all, we are not condoning that with just jokes. Just remember that?
Just jokes.
Yeah.
I seen it on TV.
Right. That's all that is.
Yeah.
So, if you go back to my younger days, I'd probably say I could. Easily. One of the reasons why, it depends on the person. If we got a tie and I feel good about it and she's telling me that we wasn't in a monogamous relationship, she did her thing, this will happen. He ain't no parts of it. I ain't gonna even say that, but he's just not no parts of it. And we was tight and we had enough of a bond, I could. Now, I already know what kind of comes along with that.
And let's talk.
And I'm not trying to push him all the way out. She might be, because she's seeing me. But my whole thing is, if he is the biological father, I don't feel like it's right for me to push him all the way out, because now you making that decision just to be with me. I gotta ignore him, and he ain't gonna never be in this child's life. I really feel like that's some wrongs that's being done sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's one of them is because I want to stay with the person I'm with. My whole thing is, even though it started with somebody else, it can still nurture into a healthy thing if y'all have a conversation.
Yeah. And so if you don't have a conversation pretty much or not, the consensus here is that we're not going to be in a lifetime relationship with somebody who's pregnant. Seemingly they are too committed to someone else, even though that someone else may not be there. There probably can be a lot of fun had, during the period of time that the child is rearing, but other than that, these guys are saying they don't see a relationship. They're not seeing her as enough person in their heart to be able to take on that level of responsibility, right? So you got to let her go, right? And there comes a point where you're going to have that conversation, and you're going to have to put it blatantly that I'm not going to be with you. But see, here's the thing.
What's that?
See, you're not going to be with her because you're probably in your feelings about her being pregnant by another man, right? Let's just say this is somebody who you would consider coming into a relationship with. This is somebody who, before that happened, you was like, hey, that's my number one stunner, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't committed to it. It just happened, right? Mm-hmm. So she's gonna naturally have the child. And she's going to naturally take care of the child. Mm-hmm. And the father's naturally going to participate wherever he decides to participate. And as long as she doesn't take him back into her life, she's going to be an available woman even on the other side of having this child. And she's going to still have all those great qualities that you were trying to deny during her pregnancy. She's still going to be a provider. She's still going to take care of a household. She still know how to take care of a man. She made a mistake, and here the baby is 1 or 2 years old, and she looking fine. Now you want to try to get in the dough, right? Wow. So you might be okay with dating a woman who has a child,
I've dated one with having a child. I ain't got a problem with that.
Exactly right.
I have no problem with that.
I
But
married
again,
a woman that had a child.
right. So
somebody else.
my whole thing is to
but
make
the
sure you.
pregnancy, change all that. Make you think like I gotta shut it down right now.
No,
That's
no,
what
you
y'all
gotta
saying.
understand is she has a special seed in her body,
Yeah.
and if she has respect for her own body, then a lot of times you got to make sure you are comfortable with all that's going to go into you, because I promise you, if you got my seed and we're not in my relationship, and I'm the one that impregnated you, and you still able to mess with other people. We're gonna probably have some difficulties in us going down the road, because I can't control what all you do, because I didn't make that commitment then. But now you got my child. So now we got.
I still ain't got nothing to say.
I don't. But bottom line, and then they'll make me just want to commit to you at that point. But if you allow anything to enter, remember you got Phil over here trying to knock a soft spot in things. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing.
I'm just co-signing with Jessica.
I hear
That's all I'm doing.
I hear the argument, but you can't control what she does.
You cannot.
If you're not going to be with her, she still wants somebody to hold at night. She still wants somebody to talk to during the day. She still wants her personal life.
Maybe she should have thought about that in them 2 weeks that we wasn't talking.
I mean, but everybody
I'm
makes
just
mistakes.
saying. Granted, everybody make mistakes. And they do it.
I mean, listen.
I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes.
You know, we've all come to this, right? We've had a good girl in our life. We didn't pay her the attention that she needed. Right. She went off with somebody else, and we kind of didn't like that. We kind of didn't like that she went off with somebody else, but damn. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to sit around and wait on you. You know what I'm saying? And so on this particular night, she happened to be mad about the shit. Right. And she went raw. And she ain't give a damn. And so
that's fine.
You know, she
I don't give a damn.
Had a couple of drinks, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, hey,
so this is how it went down.
You have a choice to not give a damn, and I have a choice to not give a damn.
Well, I mean, listen,
so you'll give a damn.
She didn't have
overshadow my not give a damn.
Have a give a damn because you wasn't there.
Hey, I ain't have to be
that's
there.
The thing. See, you kind of insinuate that you might be upset about the shit, but you wasn't there.
I didn't have to be there. Her don't give a damn cost her a life.
It might not be. It might not have been that she didn't give a damn.
That she got
the condom could have broke. He could have not behaved. Anything could have happened.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
That's still her decision.
I know. I
don't have anything to do with her decisions. I can't control a grown woman. She gonna do what she wants.
She gonna do what she want to do.
Exactly. So
and if you're not there, she gonna do more of what she wants.
Okay, so if I'm mad, we have a disagreement. And we can't come together and talk about it, and you just gonna like, fucking girl, fuck. And then you go and fuck somebody and you get pregnant, and then you wanna go there, you wanna, no, get your ass back over there with him.
Well, listen now. No. Let's try to even up the score now.
No. It's not happening.
All I'm doing is just making suggestive dialogue.
I know.
Right?
We're having definitely an argument.
No, we're having a discussion.
You gone for 10 days, 2 weeks, right? You ain't calling, you ain't talking to her, right?
And you busting it wide open.
You ain't returning her text message.
And you busting it wide open.
So you gone.
Okay.
Tell me you ain't out hitting it. Tell me you ain't out getting served up. You ain't out getting yours. 2 weeks? She already know. She probably know about it.
And said she pulled up to the house.
Bruh, she already know you gonna get it every night. That's how you like it. And so that, you know what I'm saying? In 2 weeks, you go 2 weeks. Oh yeah, you definitely got somebody else. You definitely doing something else. And she might not be looking for it, but she already know. So she like, hey, you know what? And she tried, maybe day 10, she tried to call you or text you or something. You ain't call her back, and she was like, I might as well go out with Joe. Might as well go out with John. Big John. You know what I'm saying? I might as well go out with Big John. So you really sent her to the wolves.
No. I ain't sent her nowhere.
You sent her to the wolves.
Look, okay,
fellas, if you ain't taking care of your lady can go and do what the hell she wants.
We had an argument, right? So neither one of us wants to be the adult and come to a conclusion. Look, we need to sit down and talk. So you gonna get mad and you ain't gonna call me and not gonna text me because you upset at me. I try to reach out to you. You don't text me. I keep trying to reach out to you. You don't text me. I call you. You don't text me. I call you at work. You don't respond. You don't return my calls. I hit you up on email. No communication. So in my mind, okay, yeah, it's over. No communication. So of course, I'm gonna start entertaining somebody else. So
is she.
okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. You doing you, I'm doing me. Regardless of what happens, however you end up pregnant, it is no longer my responsibility.
Yeah, it is not. But you know,
so
if you got somebody pregnant, she could still have a life with you, and you'd never kind of be bothered because the mother's gonna end up raising the child.
Not necessarily. She could take the same attitude as I can, because that's no longer.
Know you as I get
that's no longer her responsibility. I am no longer her responsibility. That seed that she is carrying is no longer my responsibility.
We get that.
I have a choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I choose to deal with it,
right,
or not.
Right.
So if I say no, that's what it is.
Let's turn the conversation a little bit.
All right, what you want to tie it to?
What you gonna deal with? What are you dealing with? I mean, you know, what's the ramifications of starting a relationship with a woman who's pregnant? What are the you know, there are probably a few fringe benefits on the early side of the game, but you know, across the relationship, you know, what do you face? What is the obstacle to face? You're canceling out your potential for being in a long-term or lifetime relationship with this woman because she made a mistake or she got pregnant, right? And it wasn't, you know, a violation. It just happened at one of those periods that was just a little black and a little gray area, and you could have did the same thing, and you know, etc. So.
You said we was just kicking it. It's not like we was in a long-term relationship.
No, but you know, listen, if y'all have known each other or coming together again, she got pregnant just before you met her.
I mean, that's hey.
And listen, she could not tell you about the pregnancy for 2 months. In 2 months, you could be madly in love with her. Right, and you could be crazy about it. You know, y'all been seeing each other every day, every night for a couple of 3 weeks. Yeah, bro, you absolutely could. You could be digging her for real. And then all of a sudden she says, "Listen, you know, this thing happened. You know, it was, you know, probably the week or 2 weeks before, a month before we got met. You know, I got to tell you what's going on, but I really like to, you know, I'd like for us to be together. I'd like for us to.
This is far as my mercy will allow me to go.
Go ahead.
I can be there for you. In regards to us being in a relationship, it's dead.
Okay.
But I can be there for you.
Okay. And I'm going to suggest that is a fine line, my friend, because if you're going to be there with her, you're probably going to be helping pick out clothes, and you know, you're probably going to help her with the baby shower, and you might get, you know,
baby shower. I ain't even had my wife with my kid's baby shower. That ain't happening.
I mean, you might not help actively, you might help passively, but a baby shower gonna go down while you there if you're gonna decide to entertain a relationship.
Hold on, we ain't say we live together now. She got her place, I got mine.
I don't know how that works out. I'll be there for you. I guess that makes more sense now, right?
I said mercy.
Yeah, I mean, but you're still gonna have sex with her, right?
Got a soft spot. For a reason.
I'm seeing that something ain't right in this conversation.
But I'm in a relationship.
You on some bullshit, man.
I'm telling you the truth. This is me. This is my perspective. I'm not talking about Craftmatic perspective. I'm not talking about Jay perspective. I'm talking about Buddha perspective.
I still gotta put some values, you know, in what you're saying to me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Hold on, we gotta go to break. Y'all stay tuned. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. Welcome back, folks. We are just going into third quarter of almost fourth quarter of the game, but we thank you folks for being here with us. For those of you who have continued to stay with us throughout the show, this is, you know, just our opportunity to try to be leaders in our community and just talk about some difficult subjects. You know, we've talked about some of everything on here, from you know, from cheating and lying and, we talked about progress and success and happiness, and we've just covered really a whole gamut of subjects. And this is one that is really situational. We really find ourselves attempting to describe the current situation. And we left off the show talking about today's subject, by the way, is, fellas, would you start a new relationship with a pregnant woman? Mm-hmm. And so the question is, if you did start that relationship, what would be some of the things that you have to deal with? What would be some of the things that I would keep pulling you off center, side swiping you? What are some things that might be real benefits?
I can only tell you, like, I've dated some women that already had kids. I rarely mess with a whole lot of women that was pregnant.
Exactly.
Because again, with the dent in the head thing that y'all be talking about, is one of the things that's prevalent. Because again, when you're dealing with somebody and they're pregnant to a state, they do want to be more bonded with the person that they had that child with. Some can, some can. I'm just saying, a lot of them want to be in that state. Mm-hmm. And then some don't even want to be dealing with anybody at that point. And that's going to be on a woman. I'm not going to speak on them. But for a man, I know I will want to be more into her. But if she's going through something and she has somebody else's baby in her, not saying I want to be disrespectful and I just want to just go in it anyway. I have to respect her body. And doing that alone, I have to give her time to make sure that baby's healthy. Period. I have to push my own desires to the side. And at that point, we might not be in a relationship. We might not be monogamous. It doesn't matter. I want to make sure she's healthy because she's still a part of my life. Just like no different than a person I met that had a child already. If she had a child already, I already know that I'm not trying to push out the father because we are making this decision that we're going to date and we're going to be in a monogamous relationship. Mm-hmm. That child still has that father coming over and still should be a part of his life. Well, he don't really need to be a part no more. You need to be the daddy. Now, first of all, don't tell me what the hell I'm going to play. This is where I, as a man, you have to dictate where it's going to be. Mm-hmm. If that's what you're looking for, then that ain't going to be me. Me, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to play a part in this role. And I'm going to do my part. And then he going to do his part. Because you ain't pushing him all the way out. Because of me. Because my wealth and the fact that I got it and he ain't contributing don't mean he going to be an X factor. We're going to have that conversation because that's what some people just tend to do. Mm-hmm. No. You laid down with his ass and made that damn baby. Don't sit this shit on me just because I'm financially stable. He ain't. Yeah. You're going to have to live with some of your decisions. And I'm willing to cope with some of that. Yes. As long as we have an understanding. There's no disrespect. Right. But now I got to pay for everything because he can't. Now hold on. Yeah. My whole thing is I'm not trying to deprive him either. Right. But let's be fair about a situation. Because a lot of times that's why somebody picked you over another person. Right. You're more than, well, you didn't think about that shit when you did that. Yeah. You didn't think of all that. But now all of a sudden it's a good decision. Right. Correct. I got feelings and I have understanding too. Don't make me pour all into something that can be turned on me. Because now the father gets in his head and now all of a sudden he want to turn on me because again, we didn't have an open discussion. It just became her against him and I'm supposed to be against him. Now the child decided to be with him. Now turn on all y'all asses because it all backfires because it wasn't even thought out. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even thought out wisely. You didn't have a real plan. You just thought about being with her. That's what it normally comes to. Because when I date somebody, I try to get into them before I ever get into the kids. I don't want to meet your kids when I first meet you. I want to find out if I'm even worthy. Mm-hmm. And I will say that because as a man, I need to be worthy to meet your children. Yep. Because if you don't care, then you shouldn't be dating me. Mm-hmm. So I should qualify to meet them. Now, as I qualify, I want to enhance her, them, and everything that come in my life. Well, guess what? When you skip all these damn processes, you get a botchery. You get just what it is. It's just sex. Now, that child is confused because now uncle ain't uncle. She done claim so-and-so, he ain't your damn uncle. I'm one of the people in your family that's going to probably tell you. I'm tired of lying to you. That ain't your uncle, player. Alright? She keeps saying it and it get on my nerve because sooner or later he need to know the truth. Because we keep saying these small lies. Mm-hmm. Well, it don't mean nothing. We all know about St. Valentine's. We already know the truth come from. But then we gonna change it to something better. You still lying. Christopher Columbus. All these lies, and we want to say we making things better. My whole thing is you're changing a narrative to better whatever economy or whatever you choose.
Yes, sir.
My whole thing is just know more of the truth and know what's inside of you than deciding off of what somebody else is giving you value to. Value yourself more so when other people tell you. Because again, if you came to me and said, I'm pregnant by so-and-so, it's not about me saying it's just over anything. My whole thing is you all right? I mean, how do you feel about all that? Well, it just happened all of a sudden, but now he act like he don't want to be in my life, this, that, the other. I'd be like, well, you know, you gonna have to have more conversation. Now, I'd just rather be with you. No. No. See, now you're trying to make this shit more convenient for you.
Right.
My whole thing is, no, you need to have more conversation with him, because why is he pushing away from you now?
Right.
Because I seen you on Facebook, you was just talking so highly of his ass when you was out there doing your shit, but now all of a sudden he just left you and want to be with everybody else. So what just happened? Nothing just happened. You was just a hoe from the beginning, so you didn't see the signs. You didn't really take the time to know what you was really laying down. Well, it just happened anyway. Okay, it just happened, so how you gonna handle it? I don't know. I guess I gotta put them on papers. So all this is afterwards, and none of this happened beforehand. I mean,
conversation with yourself.
Yeah, really. Because I'm sitting here trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
Because you want to put me in the midst of your bullshit. This is you in your life, but it's more convenient to have this conversation with me than to have it with the person that did this.
So it would be much easier for you to build a bond relationship if she's already had the child.
Well, my whole thing is this. When I heard all this, that's problematic. When she have it, then she gonna make decisions because it should be in the best interest of that child. Before she have it, it's just her emotions and feelings. She's trying to nurture. So again, she's in an emotional state. I don't want to take away from that child and make her more stressed. So at that point, I'm like more like Phil. I'm just gonna try to support you from a distance because I don't need to be on top of you. Because at that point, it's gonna be indenture. And I'm trying to change some things. We ain't trying to do that. We trying to encourage and strengthen. Because again, no matter what you might do, she still got to make a decision. Yeah. And that decision might be going right back to that other person because of that seed. Yeah. You can't stop that, and you gonna get mad about it. Yeah. Because if I do everything for her and she turn around and will be with him, I'm just being honest. He ain't really into kids like this, that, but you pay for her doctor visits. You spend time with her. You know, you ain't really trying to have sex with her, but you just trying to be a good person. Right. And then at the end, this brother over, and now all of a sudden he all the way in the picture. And she was like, well, thank you for being a good friend. You're going to be hurt. I'm telling you now, you're going to be scarred. And now you're going to be sitting there looking with mud on your face because you thought it was going to be a whole lot more. And all she did was use your ass. Yeah. You can't tell me.
You was trying to be a good friend.
You know? Yeah. You got used, bro.
And that's what you ended up being.
You got used.
Thank you for being a friend.
Doom.
Traveled up the road and back again.
What she said, I hope you didn't lose all them other hoes you had. Because I done made a decision, and that's again. I'm not telling people to be in a monogamous relationship or non-one. I'm not telling people to date somebody that got a child or not. I'm just saying, in my bigger plan all the way around.
Yeah, and what I hear you saying, and it's a great idea, is that we, you know, if we're going to entertain her at all, we absolutely have to make sure not to deny the father his privilege. You know, I wanted to cover some of that kind of stuff, right? We can't deny the child. We don't want to deny the child. I think there might be some a little hardship in that. We'll talk about it in a minute. But you know, if you know that it doesn't belong to you, you want the father to have an opportunity to be a father, and that's whether she's pregnant or whether you're with somebody who already has children, right?
Well, that's a totally different subject.
I'm not sure it's a totally different subject. It's a different subject, but I'm not sure if it's totally because all it is a time difference. You know what I'm saying?
And that time difference makes it a different subject.
It doesn't make it a different subject, Nate.
It can be. It's a personal. Yeah. Because again, if it wasn't there and you decided that you'd be with because she wasn't, and you decided that's your decision. Just like you decided when she was pregnant, you didn't. That's still a personal decision.
Yeah.
So that's going to be always going up to the person.
Yeah, but the decision is based on a child. And it's the same decision, sooner or later, earlier or not.
Somebody got to do something.
Yeah.
Quit playing.
So not only does the father need to be taken into account, he's going to have visitation. He's going to need to be taking care of his child financially. He's probably going to still be in mommy's head in some way, and that's just the scenario of doing whatever it might need, communicating enough with him to take care of the child. If the child was going to go to a certain school, or the child was going to be taken care of by a certain nursery, or the child needed, the mother, the grandmother on daddy's side to take care of her. There's going to be, an intermingling of families, and there's going to be, if you gave it your all, you're going to be a family member. And you're going to be there probably at the time the child is born.
What you talking about?
If the father's not. We're just talking about what you deal with if you're going to take on a woman who's pregnant, right?
Right.
You're going to end up being there when the child is born, and you might go to Lamaze classes, and you might, take another doctor's visits, and you may need to buy Pampers and formula, and do emergency room visits, anytime the child needs it. You're gonna be up at night, changing Pampers and really helping Mom Dukes out. You know what I mean?
Hold on. What you got, man?
Oh shit.
That's only if you make the decision that I'm going to be with you. However, if your decision is not that I'm going to be with you, I'll be there for you, I'm not doing all that.
Okay.
That's not happening.
Okay.
I might, throw a little money for the little formula and some diapers and stuff, help you out, but that's pretty much as far as my mercy is going to allow me to go. I'm not holding your hand through this.
I'm just speaking.
happening.
I'm just speaking for that woman, right? That woman.
Sound like you're speaking for that sucker.
No, I'm speaking for the woman, because the woman.
That's what she
might say, right? So I'm good enough for you to lay down with, right? But I ain't good enough for you to be with if I got a child.
No. That's
because she gonna tell you the hell with that brother. I ain't worried about him. I'm talking about us. So what you saying is that okay?
You can't. No. First of all, you can't put me in that circle.
Well, no, that's a circle that she can put you in.
She can't put me in that circle.
Because at a certain point, you're going to be like, hey, you know what I'm saying?
No.
That's your problem.
Because
get your shit done.
That's what she need to be telling the dude she laid down with.
Ooh.
Not me.
No, she's trying to be with you. She's not going to tell him that.
No.
She's not going to tell him that.
She made that decision with him.
No, she just, it was a thing, man. You know how sex is, man.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what you're telling me, or what she's saying to me, is what she should be saying to the person she laid down with and conceived with.
Yeah, but she ain't interested in a lifetime relationship with him. She got caught in a trap.
Hold on. She is the trap.
She got caught in the trap.
She is the trap.
Because
no. You can't put all that on me.
All your fault.
No. You was up in that trap too, dog. No. You was up in there too, dog.
Shit, Phil.
Look. You was up in that Phil. Because that's something that a woman should tell the man that she laid down with and conceive.
Okay, potentially so, right? He gotta take ownership. We get that.
Exactly.
We get that.
Because he's responsible.
Yeah, but she ain't trying to be in no relationship with him. She's trying to be in a relationship with you.
You can't force those, put that same pressure on me that you would with the dude you laid down with and conceived with.
No, because at a certain point you're gonna have to stand in the man gap, and we don't know what that looks like.
I stand down.
Right? The man gap for her, listen, the thing about it is, that cookie gonna be super good in the first 5, 6, 7 months, boy.
I ain't even gonna lie, that's the best cookie I ever had.
So what she's saying is, you could come over here and knock me down 2, 3, 4 times a week, be with me.
Yep.
But if I gotta go to a doctor's visit, you ain't gonna support me, you ain't wanna come with me, you ain't gonna help me out. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
We already know what time it is.
I give you Uber money.
That's some hypocritical in here. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's not hypocritical.
Yeah, it is, man.
That's true. That's facts.
No, that ain't facts, man. That's relative. Every man's not gonna respond like that. That's not facts. That's relative. That's based on the individual.
I tell you before I go on break, there's a lot of women that I've talked to that I help without the sex. I mean, we had sex beforehand, but when they went through the ordeal, I was able to help them because at that point, I wanted to make sure they mentally were straight because they dealt with me. You know, one of the things you understand about being a good man, you don't have to turn and be evil towards anybody. That's a choice. And that's just life. If she got pregnant, regardless if it was a mistake or not, that don't mean anything evil in my eye. That just meant that person had something that I probably didn't need because I had 5 of my own. I already did this. So my whole thing is, why would I judge somebody when I went through some things? So I had to learn from my own. So when they go through it, why should I have to judge them? My whole thing is everybody need help. Nobody really just helped me and taught me how to be a man when I was making all these dang on kids. But I had these women in my goddamn on ear about what they need. They need this, they need that. So I had to grow up and grow into a role that I wasn't for sure of, but I know one thing, they wasn't going to go without. And that matured me. If I can help somebody else without going through the pains, then I would do that. But it ain't always going to be about my money. I can talk to you ahead of time. That's why I said, if you have a conversation with a person, you have a better understanding. Sometimes we too self-opinionated, then we don't give a damn.
Hold that.
We gonna come right
Hold
back.
that thought. We gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
Going in deep, ain't it? All right, welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back.
As you can see, my man Craftmatic get in this music, man.
Yeah,
man. I can't wait till this summer, man. We get past a little this coronavirus before we can get out there and start doing some big things in the community and other places. Because again, I think we got a lot of things to share, not just with words, but with music.
Yeah,
I love to get some things going on. I got a producer in the building, Boo, been holding us down since day one. We got a lot of things that we're going to be doing. Some things I can invite you to because they private. But other things I want all y'all to come out in big force. When I say that is because, again, when we do these things, we're doing it out of love and passion. And it's not all about cost to you. It's about you understanding that somebody actually cares. Same thing in this situation when we're talking about these pregnant women. I'm not pushing nobody to the side. We got some good men out here that really do care. I care not to impose and do things to you because I understand you were bearing a seed. I really, really want you to be in a good position to understand me. If you need to reconcile something with somebody else, I want to give you that time. Just like if I meet somebody, they already made that decision. They made that reconcile. They moved on.
Right.
My whole thing is they can move on and they can do their thing, but we have to have a conversation just in case they come back. What's going to go on? I don't like to be blindsided because I have a vision and things I need to do. And I want to make sure things ain't just hitting me from the side because I don't want to look clearly. I want to just see you and be in love. I really feel like I'm going to get out my damn feelings and understand a plan. Let's plan to be successful. And that way when something come up, she also know how I expect her to move. Mm-hmm. Now, if we didn't have a conversation, I'm looking at her like, well, why are you moving like this? Because she going to do the best she can do. But you really don't know her. Because you got too much into you. You forgot about her. So now her moves is different than what you thought. So now you feeling funny about that whole situation.
Yeah.
I seen it happen. And it's sad to me. And half of it came from a conversation that never happened. Just like people get mad at me about not being in a monogamous relationship. That don't mean I want to be a hoe at all. That means why I want to give everything up when I ain't understanding all of what I want to be. Let me figure some things out. And that way when you get this, you understand what a Boaz is.
Okay.
Not a person that's going to beat your ass and all the other shit.
Right.
Because that person is still confused and mad.
Crazy.
Right. So give it time to get a person to mature to be in a level and then force me. Because a lot of times people push for what they don't even know. I want a husband, but you don't even know how to be a wife. And then some people say, well, I ain't going to be a wife to somebody. A wife don't mean you got to necessarily be it to me anyway. I don't need to see it in your actions. I need to see what you do with your child, with your mother and what you do in your life, that shows me wifey material. Not all the stuff that you just do for me, because I see it all. And when I see it, then I know that is for me. And then that's when I choose as a wife. But don't tell me about what somebody else told you. I'm tired of you reading these damn books. You need to know you.
Exactly.
And that's why you single.
Right. That's why you single.
Okay, Jeffrey Jr.
Yeah. As we get ready to close up this show, we got about 10 minutes here. You know, a lot of meaningful things have come out of it. There seems to be a unity about us not being interested in being with a woman who's pregnant by another man, and you know, ultimately it means that I'm going to have to give up a lot of my own freedoms just to be with you, and I'm not willing to give up my own freedoms to be with you under the circumstance, right? And you know, and those circumstances can vary so much. You know, maybe she's a woman who, you know, maybe she gets terminally ill. She gets ill by something, you know. She goes through a breast cancer bout. And, you know, women live from those things. But, you know, would you start a relationship with a woman who may be going through that? You know, maybe going through cancer or a life health situation? Would you start a relationship with a woman who's, you know, recently divorced? Would you start a relationship with a woman who has never been married and, you know, she's 55 years old and, you know, no kids, or a 40-year-old and want a kid? Would you would you get married to a 45-year-old woman who still wants to have a child? I mean, there are a lot of questions that we can ask and potentially answer, but I think it always comes down to how much you care about that person and how much you really want to be with that person. And, you know, sometimes, you know, it also requires us to run from challenges that we don't think we're prepared to face. You know, I met a young lady a number of years ago who had, you know, had cancer and was dealing with it in, you know, obviously the most professional and the best medical care way, but she was going through it.
Right.
And, you know, she would tell me about, you know, she could get nauseated and, you know, have to go throw up at any time. And she lost her hair, and so she had to wear wigs. She's all constantly at doctor's visits, and she's, you know, waiting for tests and news, and she's spending money like crazy, you know, to take care of herself. And throughout her struggle, she still needed somebody in her life. And there's still a place to be in her life and not necessarily be consumed by her previous condition or by her, be consumed by her pains. But I think if you're going to be in love with someone, their pains will become your pains. And if you're going to have a relationship with somebody, their struggles are going to become your struggles. It's the nature of being in a relationship. The challenge oftentimes is we don't know the struggles until we get into a relationship. And then just being committed in a relationship oftentimes makes us stick around to deal with it. You know, you might have gotten married to a woman who's, you know, a couple $100,000 in debt. And you might not have married her if you'd have known that out front, but you was in love and you didn't ask all the right questions and you got a little blindsided, and now you're married to her, you're in love with her, you vowed for life, and she's got $200,000 worth of debt. And the creditors are becoming very aggressive. They wanna, you know, take your money from work, and, you know, they want to put liens on your house and all kinds of stuff, all because of your wife's current situation. And so sometimes it might have been better to go with the woman who had a child, who was pregnant by a child, than to go with the other woman who got some problems you know not of. You gotta weigh your. You really want to weigh your situation, right?
I tend to disagree. If I don't have any kids and she don't have any kids and she 200 in debt and I got blindsided, okay, I deal with that. That's just 200. She got a brand new kid. That gonna be more than 200. I'm just saying.
They doing simple math.
That's the analysis that I'm talking about.
I'm just saying.
He did quick math. Hell no. He said that.
It is more than 2. It is more than 200. But listen, that 200 ain't gonna put a stop payment on your paycheck sent to the government, right? That 200 ain't gonna have you getting your house repossessed and foreclosed on in the first year of y'all's marriage, right? There's a lot that goes with that equation. So
now, let me throw a spin.
Go ahead.
Right before we end. For the people that know that you done had, y'all was in a non-monogamous relationship and you ain't for sure of the daddy, but you picked the best person that you would want. Let's just say it. You picked the best person that you would want it to be. Now we all know
it has happened.
And too many times, and we don't want to talk about it. But do you understand the emotional change you're doing? Because at this point, if you do that, this person don't know about anything else. And then when he pour all into you, and then it comes out, it's deception. Mm-hmm. Automatically, because by me not knowing, you limit my choice.
Exactly.
You want to know a good man? You won't know it that way. Mm-mm. Because by giving a person a choice, you can see the best outcome that he can show you. One thing somebody taught me a long time ago, you limit a person's tools, you limit a person's thinking.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're doing, because you have an ultimate goal. And you limit another person to make a decision. No different than a damn lie. I'm just telling you. And that's how you can hinder a person's growth, because he can show you so much more. But you made him choose these small decisions, and he's trying to grow from it, and then found out he's deceived. He will never be his fullest potential by your decision. And that's what we need to get away from.
Absolutely.
And see, this is what I dislike about our Justice Department. It's like a woman can say, hey, he's the father. 5 years down the line, he does DNA test, found out he's not the father. And then the court system still holds him accountable for that child. And there's no repercussions for the woman. Same thing that happens when a woman cries out rape, and then she finally admits, okay, I lied. You know, I got pressured by my parents. He never did touch me. He never did rape me. It was consensual. And nothing ever happens to the woman.
Right.
And see, me personally, I feel that if you put a false claim on a man and say he has raped you or whatever, and whatever time that he's done, when they find out that he's innocent, you should do the time double. You done took 5 years of this man's life. Now you want to confess and be like, nah, I ain't do it. You need to do 10 years. Just like you ruined his life, your life needs to be ruined, and you need to be held accountable.
I like the fact what you're saying, but the bad thing is you have less people being accountable, because most people don't want to take the end result.
Exactly.
No one wants the end result.
However,
they want up front.
But if we change the laws, or if we could get the laws changed, all of that would change.
Yeah. Things need to be looked at.
I think the key point here is that we gotta stay protected. Wrap up or don't do it. Strap up, wrap up, strap up.
That would say so much.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Wrap up, strap up. Maybe you wouldn't have got in that situation if you'd have made him wrap up, strap up.
Yes, sir.
Wrapped up and strapped up, that way it goes.
Wrap up, strap up. And we know how they think, right? We know sometimes strapping up can get a little dry, you know, it can be a little dissatisfying, and so all of a sudden it break and you keep going, or you just didn't have one around and you just let him in anyway, and then you got caught up, right? I'd imagine that a vast majority of people in prison got caught up in that last minute or two. That last couple of minutes, they made a decision that really changed the entire direction of their life. And that's what it comes down to with sex, unprotected sex. You could be having a child that you don't want. And that's male or female. I'm talking to everybody. Especially in this world now, you know, that ninja's out there and it kills people. So you really got to make sure that you protect yourself. Mm-hmm. And if everybody would have strapped up, wrapped up, and protected themselves, we would not even be in a position to have this conversation.
Right. Because if I strapped up and wrapped up,
I'm good.
If I wrapped up and strapped up, I wouldn't have 5 kids. So
if the throw good, I'm good.
Things that throw good. But you got kids. So look, you went past the rope.
As long as she don't spit out, because this child to be
Watch out.
Him did that.
We're going to close our show out with that. I can see where Uncle Phil's going.
Yeah, because I ain't going there. I ain't touching you.
So, we want to thank you folks for being here with us tonight. This is Bar Talk with Jay. We are here every week, Thursdays, 7 to 9, Facebook Live. We hope that you like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Please tell your friends and family about the show.
Yes, sir.
We are nothing without you. We do this show so that we can bless the spirits of other people. We hope that you have been blessed during our programming tonight. And we thank you so much for being here. We love you. And with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.